Welcome, everybody. It is a windy and frigid day here in Tempe, Arizona, but that's perfect weather for some club lacrosse here at the Cactus Classic. My name is Harrison Fuller, broadcasting for South Mountain Sports, and we have a good matchup for you today on Field C. It is the Florida Gators taking on the Utah Valley Wolverines. Wolverines coming into this game 1-3 off the heels of a 3-18 loss against UC Santa Barbara, and the Gators undefeated at 3-0, so hoping to defend that today against the Wolverines. We're just about ready for first draw. Taking in the draw for Florida will be Sophie Morrissey. And it'll be Eleanor Scott taking the draw for Utah Valley. And we're off, as Utah Valley able to corral first draw here. That was number 23, Sophie Grizzle. Passing it around. Wolverines starting the game out conservative. Just waiting for their look. Here's a shot, and an early goal for Utah Valley. It's Catherine Yost finding her lane as the Wolverines, as previously mentioned, just being conservative with the ball and waiting for a shot lane to open up. Goal stands as the referee does a stick check. Yost's stick passed the test, so the Wolverines find pay dirt early. A 1-0 lead for Utah Valley. So right back to center field for the draw. Ground ball after the draw. And the Wolverines able to corral it again. Ground ball picked up by the Florida Gators. Let's see if they can flip the field here. Running with it is Angelina Pavlakis. And Florida able to flip the field and get into the attacking third. Pass it back to their ex, Maddie Caliendo. Now for the Gators. Here's Sarah Miller. Holding on to it, now passing around. Gators taking the same approach that Utah Valley did. Just being conservative and waiting for their shots. Ground ball, great stick check, and Utah Valley has it. Good passing, and they're able to clear the field. Flip the field, excuse me. Wolverines now transition into the attacking third. Sperry over to Clark now. Wolverines again being conservative. Just waiting for a lane to open up. Now they'll pass it to Yost. She already has one today. Over to Grizzle. Waiting. Finds Sperry. No shot clock in women's club lacrosse, so the Wolverines can hold it for as long as they want. Garlic now back at X will clear it back up top to Clark. Clark trying to take on a defender, and that shot flies beyond the goal, and Florida was able to run and gain possession for the Gators. Here's Noe trying to take it coast to coast. Noe with a move, lost the ball briefly, gets it back herself. And she will run back to her position in the midfield. Florida now just searching for a lane. Mitchell speeding up. Shot is saved by Utah Valley. It's number 26 in the cage, Peyton Kimball. Utah Valley now trying to clear. Florida gains it back. Nice strip. And another save there by Kimball. 2 early saves for the goalkeeper. Ground ball picked up by Caitlin Trevino of Utah Valley. And the ball will go out of bounds. Possession goes to Utah Valley. Mackenzie Hatch hustling up the field, and it's intercepted by Keely Naus. Running with it, trying to take it coast to coast. It's a 2v1. Naus floats back out and will try to reset here. Passes it to her teammate, number 7, Sarah Miller. Miller gives it to Rinaldi. Easy to spot there with the bright yellow cleats. Rinaldi. Pass it to her teammate Schmerler, who recently subbed in. Now over to the corner. Trying to make a move. Florida, good cut. And the Gators couldn't get a shot up. They reset. Over to Castolo. Now to Wieldens. Cut in. Ground ball right near the crease. It is corralled by Peyton Kimball, but there is a penalty on the field. So as play resets, it'll be Utah Valley ball. Kimball looking for someone to pass it to. Still got it. Got to remember she's only got 10 seconds to make a decision and pass it. She gets it away to her teammate, Caitlin Trevino. Now Lily Messina's got it in the stick, and she's rolling up the field. Caitlin Sperry now. Now over to Clark. Back to X, Alyssa Garlick. Clark. Wolverines passing it around. Sperry has some troubles corralling the ball, but picks it up, and now will go face-to-face with a Florida defender. Foul on Florida. They'll most likely call that a stick check on the penalty as play resumes. And there's a ground ball. Who's got it? Florida does corral it. Here are the Gators. Clearing the ball. Florida's got a good look. Can they strike? They're down 1-0 right now, but can the Gators make something happen on this possession? They slow things down. Pass it out to the wings. Trying to find a cutter now is number 6, Isabel Baselga. Pass it back out, reset. Here's Ava Mitchell, passing it to her teammate up top. That's Kendall Schmerler. Schmerler trying to make a move, dodging defenders, and scores for Florida. That ties the game up. Number 14, Kendall Schmerler, the midfielder, getting busy and putting the Gators on the board. That ties the game at 1. And we'll head back to center field for a draw. Here's the draw in center field. Utah Valley able to corral it. That's number 23, Sophie Grizzle. Back to X. Number 8, Garlic. Garlic being guarded tightly. Great defense from Florida, number 28, Ashley Fanny. Now, here is Yost. She's already got a goal today, and the ref blows his whistle and will reset play. Penalty called on Florida, I believe. Yost being double-teamed. Resets it, passes it back out. Now back to Yost. Yost bounces it. It's just wide of the goal, but Utah Valley will retain possession. Heads-up play by Alyssa Garlic, playing X, sprinting for that ground ball as it went out of bounds. Great pass inside. Trying to find a cutter. Yost couldn't handle it. Florida's got it. Ball up in the air. Ground ball. There goes Florida. Kendall Schmerler. Schmerler sprinting down the field. And she will reset, find a cutter. She was trying to find Rinaldi, but she couldn't handle it. Pass it back to X, number 1, Maddie Caliendo. Mitchell now taking her time, assessing her options. Schmerler over to the wing. That's Baselga. Now to Mitchell. Mitchell passes it, an errant pass to Schmerler. Schmerler able to keep the ball inbounds. Sophie Morrissey trying to drive in, gets double teamed, passes it back out. Gators taking their time. Over to Morrissey. Morrissey now trying to drive towards the cage. Morrissey trying to find a cutter. It's intercepted, ground ball, and Florida picks it up. It's number 22, Angelina Pavlakis. Here's Mitchell. Over to Naus. Naus trying to make a move inside. Naus will reset it back to X. Now, here's Caliendo trying to bend the corner, hit a cutter. It's intercepted, knocked down, and picked up by number 6 for Utah Valley, Alyssa Brown. A quick stoppage by the referee. And a substitution, a timeout called. Midway through the first quarter, The score is tied at 1. You're watching South Mountain Sports, and we'll take a quick break. Welcome back to South Mountain Sports. My name is Harrison Fuller, and you're watching the Cactus Classic. The 3-0 Florida Gators taking on the 1-3 Utah Valley Wolverines, and at the end of the first quarter, they're knotted at 1. Some early goals coming from Catherine Yost for Utah Valley and Kendall Schmerler for the Gators. And play will reset. Here is Alyssa Brown being triple teamed, running straight past the defenders. Brown might take it coast to coast. No, she hands it off to her teammate. That's Taylor Ford. Ford trying to find a cutter, resets, passes it back out. Now here's Sperry. Sperry trying to find a lane. Sperry catches it outside the 8-meter mark. Great defense from Florida. Just all defenders sticking to their assignments, double teaming when necessary, just like that. Here's Sperry, and Florida picks up a ground ball, and there they go. Completely shifting the field into Florida's attacking third. Mishandled pass will give Utah Valley possession back here. They'll give it to the goalie, Peyton Kimball. Deep pass is caught. Wow. There goes number 9. Trying to see who that is. Well, Utah Valley back in the attacking third. They'll give it to Grizzle. Now just some conservative passing, trying to find a lane. If anything opens up with this stout Florida defense. Sperry over to Clark. Back outside. Clark will get it in the wing. Quick pass back out to X. It's Sperry. Searching. Dodges her defender. Sperry driving in. Shot. Ground ball now corralled by the Gators. There goes Sophie Morrissey. Morrissey dodging defenders. Will she try to take it coast to coast herself? No, she passes it out here. That's for Caitlin Irwin. Now back out to X behind the cage. It's Kelly Endo. Here's Irwin. Searching. Surveying the field. Back out Morrissey. One minute left in the quarter. Ground ball. Florida ball. Got to get a shot off. Less than a minute left. Here's Naus. Naus evading defenders. Utah Valley doing a good job to slow her down. Shot inside. Morrissey bounces it. No good. Picked up by the Gators. Back out now. Irwin. Over to Naus. Naus lost it. Utah Valley ball. Can they make something happen with less than 30 seconds left in the quarter? Got to get a shot off now if they want it. Here's Tate. And that will do it for the first quarter of this Cactus Classic game. Florida and Utah Valley still knotted at 1. My name is Harrison Fuller. You're watching South Mountain Sports, and we'll be back with more action in the second quarter. Welcome back to South Mountain Sports. As we're getting going here in the second quarter, we've flipped sides of the field, and Florida attacking spin move saved by Peyton Kimmel. That's her fourth already. What a start for the Wolverine goalie. So upon some feedback, we will get a tighter shot for the viewers at home so you can see your family members and the players a little better here. Florida now couldn't get anything to go on the last possession, but they've gained the ball back and will try to capitalize in the attacking third here. Here's Costolo. Now over Kate Wheeldens. Wheeldon finding a cutter inside. Bottoms! Florida scores! It was Kendall Schmerler, I believe. And if it was, that would make it her second goal. That was a terrific cut by Schmerler and a heads-up pass by Wheeldon. All around a great play for the Gators, and that gives them a 2-1 lead. So after the Florida goal, we'll take it back to center field for the draw. Utah Valley with a perfect draw record right now, coming up with the ball on every single draw of today. Here's Sperry. Back out. Scott. Surveying, just trying to be the point guard. And find a passing lane. She resets it. Back out. Caitlin Sperry. Ford. Searching. Looking. Ford dancing around. Swim moves. Back out. Spins back out. Now into Grizzle. Ball is on the ground. Saved by Jordan Salby. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Here goes Mitchell. Mitchell got it away. Florida successfully clears it into the attacking third. Now Caliendo. The X. She just sits behind the goal, gaining possession back for her team. It's probably the most underrated position in lacrosse. You just sit back there. If the ball comes your way, you find a cutter for a passing lane. Swim move. Shot is too high for Schmerler. If that one fell, it would have been her third, an early hat trick. But she's left still looking for it as Florida gains possession. Dodging around, juking. Wheeldens. Searching, looking around, pump faking. Wheeldon. Here's Schmerler. Shot into the goal and a stoppage due to a penalty. It'll be Utah Valley's ball, excuse me. So Kimball will wait for play to resume. And Utah Valley looking to knot things back up. We are going to take it up the field. Now Long. And they successfully make it to the attacking third. Here's Miller. Miller into Biggs. Biggs in. Shot. And a goal. Number 14, Sperry, scores for Utah Valley, tying it back up at 2. A quick stick check by the ref. Everything looks good, and that one will go on the board for Utah Valley. Caitlin Sperry with that goal. So we'll bring it back to center field for the draw. Utah Valley has just done a phenomenal job on the draws, gaining possession, but have frankly been a bit on the slower side offensively. But right there, they're able to capitalize off of good cutting, great passing, and an even better shot to finish things off. Here's the draw. And Florida will gain possession on that one. Running down the field is Sophie Morrissey. Over to Baselga. Now here's Caliendo. Caliendo passing it back around Baselga. Will go Wielden. Here's a cutter. Florida gonna shoot it. Gets in there. Touched some nylon. Hit the back of the net. Florida with a quick response to Utah Valley's goal. Everything looks good on the stick check, and that'll be 3-2 for the Gators. So back to center field for the draw. That was a quick one. Florida is known for some high-scoring affairs this year. Their first game was a 19-0 win against Baylor. They've put up 3 goals early here as this second quarter is young. Utah Valley wins the draw there, continuing their solid streak of winning draws. Trevino having trouble with it, gets it away to Hatch. They'll reverse field. Here's Alyssa Brown. Unable to handle it is Lily Messina. Florida gets it. Florida trying to get out of a pickle here as Hurd resets back out. Florida's got numbers. They're going to try to speed it up here. Pass it back to X, Eleanor Scott. Scott drifting behind the cage. That'll go to Hatch. Florida being a bit more conservative with it. Just not going unless they need to. And Ford was trying to drive in. It'll be a penalty on Utah Valley. There's a penalty shot. Tried to bounce it in between the legs of the goalie, and Peyton Kimball, as steady as ever in the cage. Florida trying to press Wolverines. Can they get out of it? Ball's on the ground, and Florida gains possession. So the pressure pays off for the Gators as they're able to get the ball back and promptly flip it into the attacking third. Ava Mitchell searching. This is a solid approach by the Gators. You know, if you go too fast and throw a couple errant passes, that can cost you a couple goals and potentially the game. So Florida just calculating every decision, but that ball falls to the ground and Utah Valley able to recover. Alyssa Brown makes a nice move, and the defense was a bit too strong as Florida called for the penalty. The woman who committed it, Kate Wielden, will quickly sub off. Now here's Brown. Had to get the ball back in the attacking third, and she'll float back to her spot as a midfielder. Here's Grizzle. Grizzle trying to do something with it. Behind the goal here is Eleanor Scott. Scott. His pass is intercepted. Here go the Gators. Up, Gators lost it. Ball's on the ground. Being battered around. Looks more like field hockey than lacrosse. Keeping the ball in bounds, and they will say Gators ball. Here's Rinaldi, flipping the field, trying to make a run for it. She'll bounce around, dance a bit, and float in place now. Mitchell will get it back to Rinaldi. Wieldens almost took the screen set by her teammate. Lost it, picked up by the Gators. Rinaldi trying to drive in, gets pushed back out by Eleanor Scott. Back out now, it's Caliendo trying to make a move, but will reset it back out to her teammate Schmerler. Schmerler trying to drive in. Schmerler doesn't like her look. Schmerler floating back around, tried to pass it, and a penalty is called on Utah Valley. This looks like it was in the 8-meter box, or 8-meter circle, and will get Florida a penalty shot. Here's Schmerler. From the hash mark, Schmerler rips it, bounces it through the legs of the Utah Valley goalie Kimball, and scores for the Gators. Schmerler, man, is just pouring it in. In this first half, she's got 3. An early hat trick for the Gators midi. Back to center field for the draw. Ball's on the ground after the draw, and looks like Utah Valley comes up with it after a long ground ball, but Florida steals it right back. Here come the Gators storming down the field. Searching, shooting, blocked by Kimball. Ball on the ground now, and Kimball corrals it inside the crease. Kimball using up all her time to find a passer, and Garlick now flips the field. Trevino. Utah Valley being somewhat slow, conservative, just calculating every pass. Ball's on the ground. Player lost a stick. Another player's fall into the ground, and a stoppage potentially for a foul. After a long stoppage, we'll get back to playing ball here. Marissi searching, scanning, floating back out. Pass it back to Marissi. Spin move, trying to drive in. Passes it back out to her teammate, Wheeldon. Now back out to Marissi. Over to Naus. Now spin move. Shot! Falls! It's good. Florida pouring it on in this second quarter. I believe that was Naus. Her first goal of the day. Foul called, but play quickly resumes after the draw. Florida able to gain possession here. They'll pass it back to X. Just floating it on the perimeter here, well outside the 8-meter mark. Gators surveying. Trying to find pay dirt once more. Back out here. It's Naus. She just had a goal, and foul called on Utah Valley. Naus. We'll pass it back out to X. That's Caliendo. Here is Florida trying to drive. Quickly cuts it back. Lost the ball. Penalty called on the Wolverines. So it'll be a penalty shot here for Marissi. Marissi sprinting towards the goal. Great save from Peyton Kimball. Florida gets it back, though. Shot. falls for the Gators once more. An offensive outburst for Florida in this second quarter. Stick check looks good. Florida scores again. Six to 2. Florida pouring it on. In this first half alone, they've scored more goals than they did in their previous game against Clemson. That was a 5-4 win, a tight one. But this game is trending in the direction of the opposite of that not quite being as close. Gators win the draw. Kolsch. Now going to Schmerler. Schmerler. Shot. Bit too much contact. Maybe a shooting space penalty. Here are the Gators on a penalty shot. Shot is low, and it's saved by Kimball. It's been a lot of volume for her on the shots. Right around 50% on the save percentage today, but the Utah Valley defenders have had an active day, as has Kimball. Florida just terrific in the attacking third so far. Pass inside. Ball batted around. Ball's in the air. Ground ball and a stoppage by the refs. It'll be Utah Valley ball, excuse me. Florida able to intercept it. They've got numbers. Here's Schmerler. Already got a hat trick today. Floats it back outside. Trying to find a teammate. Does. It's Rinaldi. Wieldens gets it back here. Wielden looking for a passer. Doesn't look like she wants to take that shot. Now over to Caliendo. Caliendo back to Wielden. Inside, 2 seconds. That'll do it for the first half. So Florida looking strong offensively, leading 6-2 over the Utah Valley Wolverines. 30 minutes left until one team comes out victorious. Right now, it's looking all Florida. For South Mountain Sports, my name is Harrison Fuller, and we'll see you in the third quarter. Welcome back to Field C of the Cactus Classic. It's a chilly Friday evening here in Tempe as we get rolling in the third quarter of Florida versus Utah Valley. Florida up 6-2, and Florida able to win the draw. Florida now trying to score on the left goal from your point of view from home. Florida starting conservative, moving slow, just waiting for a passing lane. It's worked all day for them. 6 early goals for the Gators. Here's Sophie Morrissey. Morrissey driving in, and whistle blows from the referee. That'll reset play, and it'll be a penalty shot for Florida. They've scored on one of them already. Morrissey unable to score there, but Florida able to regain possession. Pass it back out to Naus. errant shot over the goal. Florida retains it. You know, for anyone watching at home, we thank you. And I've been made aware that there is a watch party in Cutchogue, New York. So I'd like to shout out Glenn, Tom, Jen, Hallie, and Tate. Thank you for watching and supporting South Mountain Sports. We appreciate you. Here's the penalty shot for Florida. Utah Valley playing some good defense and flipping the field now. Peyton Kimball passes it out. Wolverines still trying to clear the ball, get it into their attacking third. Haven't even reached midfield yet. Here goes Hatch. Passes it up. Caitlin Sperry. It's somewhat of a disadvantage for Utah Valley because they're driving right in the direction of the sun, and the bright Arizona sun is setting right in their faces. Here's Grizzle for Utah Valley. Ball rolls out of bounds, but possession is retained by the Wolverines. Over to Sperry. She's got one of the two goals for Utah Valley today. Now back behind the goal to X. Yost. She's got the other goal. Two players getting tangled up, and it will be Utah Valley ball, I believe. Yes, it will be. Here's Grizzle. Over to Sperry. Utah Valley looking for something here to try to get back on the scoreboard. Grizzle dodging defenders. Lost the ball, picks back up, and a penalty called on Florida. Here are the Wolverines. Looking, dodging defenders, getting tangled up here. And a penalty on Florida, so Utah Valley's Ella Clark will try to take it up here. Clark passes it out to her teammate in the wing. Yost searching, trying to find a crease here in the Florida defense, but that is difficult to do. The Gators have been just stout on defense all day. Here's Grizzle. Shot is saved by Jordan Salby, the goalie for the Gators. Salby will pass it up to her teammate Noe, the defender. Trying to flip the field, get it into the attacking third for Florida. Noe. Got it to Baselga. On to Mitchell. Lost it. Picks it back up, though. Mitchell being aggressively defended by Alyssa Brown for Utah Valley. Now here's Faney. Rinaldi. Back out behind the cage. Caliendo. Passes it now to Wieldens. Searching. Here's Rinaldi. Rinaldi shoots. Picked up by Utah Valley. Briefly, it's a scrum. Who's got it? Wolverines do. Here goes Caitlin Trevino. Trevino finds a teammate. Utah Valley's got numbers. Can they score in transition? They've been a bit slow on possession, just holding the ball, trying to find any opening, and they just haven't been able to capitalize off of that technique. So maybe they switch up their scheme and try to get on the board. Here's Yost. Hatch. Searching. Penalty called on the play. Here's Grizzle. Grizzle passing it inside. Shot on goal. It scores. Number 15, Ella Clark. Her first of the day. So the midi gets the Wolverines on the board, and that's the first goal for either team in this second half. Here's the draw at center field. Whistle called. It'll gain possession for the Wolverines. So number 11, Eleanor Scott, picks it up, spins out of a tackle and gets checked, but Valley keeps it in their hands, or in their sticks, I should say. Here's Sperry. Back out to Clark. She just scored a goal. Can Utah Valley, can they get back on the board? Here, Cutters for Valley. Taylor Ford lost it. Valley picks it back up. Here's Ford resetting. Well outside the 8-meter mark. Over to Yost. Yost with a high pass to Sperry. She's able to handle it. Ford. Searching. Looking. Now Sperry's got it. Sperry. Just cradling, trying to find something. Evades the pressure. Got it over. Sophie Grizzle. Shot. Scores! For Utah Valley. How did that one find its way into the net? An underhand, sideways shot, whatever you want to call it. It bottoms the back of the net. Pure nylon. Stick check. Seems to be good. That one counts for the Wolverines. That puts them within 2. This is certainly a tighter game. Florida needs to respond if they want to hold their commanding lead. So quick timeout. And we'll take a quick break. You're watching South Mountain Sports. We're back on South Mountain Sports. Utah Valley just scored 2 unanswered to start the third quarter. And the Wolverines are absolutely back in this game. So here's the draw after the goal following the timeout. Ball pops in the air, batted away. Florida picks it up. Here goes Pavlakis. Pavlakis sprinting down the field. Bounces out right outside the 8-meter mark. Here's Morrissey. She flips it to her teammate, running near the far side. Keely Naus, back out Morrissey. Florida being a bit more aggressive after the 2 unanswered Utah Valley goals. Here's Caliendo. Caliendo going to try to drive in. She gets triple team, loses the ball. Caliendo picks it back up for Florida. Ball back up in the air. Batted around, still on the ground. Who's got it? It's the Gators. They pick it up after that scrum and try to go back on attack mode. Mitchell kicks it back out. Naus floating back outside. Passes it in. Shot is waved off by the referee. Wouldn't have gone anyways. So they will call a penalty. Isabel Baselga on the penalty shot. Peyton Kimball been pretty solid all day. Baselga, one-on-one, lost it. Kimball corrals it for Utah Valley. Here goes Eleanor Scott for Utah Valley, flipping the field, bringing Utah Valley into the attacking third. Now here goes Clark. Yost cutting, gets the pass. Yost lost it. Florida picks it up. There go the Gators. Backtracking a bit here. Miller evades the stick check 2 times. Back behind the cage, Maddie Caliendo trying to make something happen here. Gators need one here to get back on the offensive. Great evading job by Keely Naus. Punches it back out. Shot is saved by Kimball. She batted it away as the shot was trying to bounce in, but it wasn't getting past Kimball. Stoppage on the field. Referee signals, and it'll be a goal for Florida, I believe. Still a bit of confusion on what went down on the field, but Florida was awarded a goal. Back at center field for the draw. Ball pops into the air, and Florida able to pick it up. There goes Schmerler. Schmerler. Searching. Ball now back behind the net. Lost it. Gators lost it. They are able to pick it back up, though. That was scary. If Utah Valley were to have picked up that ball, they had a clear run down field and might have been able to score there. Florida just passing it all the way around that 8-meter mark. There goes Schmerler. Schmerler nets it for the Gators. Gators get back on the board. This is their first of the second half. That makes it 7-4. And they go back to holding a 3-point lead. Excuse me, that moves it to 8-4. And we'll go back to center field here for the draw. And a false start called on on Florida, which gives Utah Valley the ball here. Clark. Searching, trying to find a teammate. Here's Eleanor Scott. Ball batted out of the stick. Picked up. Florida, a scuffle on the field as a Gator might have hit the deck. And the referee will call a penalty. So it will be Florida ball as Lucy Long, I believe, will take it as we approach the end of the third quarter here. Here go the Gators. Long gives it up to her teammate, Pavlakis. Pavlakis down the far side. Here's Caliendo. Searching. Over to Costolo. Costolo floating, trying to find a teammate. Will attack. Moving to the inside. Gators searching for another one. Caliendo inside. What a save from UVU's Peyton Kimball. He's had a number of impressive saves today. Here's Sperry. Sperry's got a good look. Sprinting to the goal. Changes direction. Passes it backwards here to Grizzle. Sperry. Searching. Picks up a screen from her teammate Grizzle. Garlic back out. Utah Valley's goal here seems to be just get the ball to Sperry and let her go to work. She's got a goal today. Garlic now hands it over. Grizzle. Grizzle changes direction. Clark handling it. And the air horse sounds, and that brings us to the end of 3 quarters. So Florida holding an 8-4 lead after 3. My name is Harrison Fuller. You're watching South Mountain Sports. And 1 quarter left in this affair of the Cactus Classic. We'll be right back. Fourth quarter here in Tempe, Arizona for the Cactus Classic. A solid matchup here on Field C. Florida against Utah Valley. If you're just joining us, welcome. Florida has been in command for most of the game. They lead 8-4. And now to start the fourth quarter, here's the draw. Here's the draw at the center of the field. Florida takes it. Sarah Miller sprinting down the near side here. Miller clears it back out. Keely Naus now around the back of the goal. Ava Mitchell trying to spin out of it. Referee blew his whistle and a penalty issued on Utah Valley. It was in the 8-meter, so from the hashes, here's the penalty shot for Florida. Sprinting towards the goal, trying to bounce it. Great save from Utah Valley's Peyton Kimball. Kimball now holding on to it, passes it out. Here's Brown. Brown gets it back here. Brown going to try to take it up. Messina searching for a teammate to pass to, finds Grizzle. Grizzle being double teamed. Grizzle lost it. Florida picks it up. Can they clear it and successfully get it back into the attacking third here? Florida on a roll, lost it at the last second. They regain possession, though, so it'll stay in the attacking third for Florida. Wieldens now out to Morrissey. The Gators searching, trying to find a crease here in the Utah Valley defense. Now searching, passes it inside. Great save from Kimball. Baselga passes it in. Gators. Oh, driving in. Flag called. Penalty on Utah Valley. This will be a penalty shot for Florida. It'll be Morrissey who takes it. Whistle blows, sprinting towards the cage, passes it out, shot! Finds pay dirt. Sarah Miller for Florida. Picks up her first of the game. 9-4. Gators on their way to a rout of Utah Valley. Bring it back to the center line. Here for the draw. Ball pops into the air. Picked up by Utah Valley. Here go the Wolverines. Tight defense here from the Gators. Messina. Now over to Ford. Ford searching. Floating back. Lost the ball. Penalty called. Green card issued. So they'll send Florida's Isabel Baselga to the penalty box for a minute. Quick stoppage by the referees. Play resumes here. Utah Valley on the offensive. Here go the Wolverines. It's Ella Clark. Passing to Scott. Scott on the wing. Right outside of the 8-meter line. Scott passes it to the perimeter. Alyssa Garlick. Inside. Wolverines couldn't handle it. Ground ball. A 2v1 by Florida, and they regain it. Just an incredible hustle play as Caroline Tate was forced out of bounds, but Florida will take it. Here go the Gators storming up the field. It's Kolsch. Ainsley Kolsch. Pass gets deflected. Florida still able to handle it. Here goes Sarah Miller. Miller sprinting towards the cage. Can't handle the ball, though, in Utah Valley. Ends up. It's in the stick of Alyssa Brown. Ball rolling out of bounds. Possession stays with UVU. And a timeout taken by Utah Valley. So the Wolverines trying to find a way to make up the 4-goal deficit. We'll have more of the fourth quarter on South Mountain Sports. We'll be right back. Back on the field for the fourth quarter. Game coming to a close. Utah Valley coming out of the huddle after a timeout. Now here go the Wolverines deep in their own territory. Eleanor Scott handling the ball, evading defenders, passing it out. Lily Messina sprinting to behind the net. Messina trying to do it herself, but gives the ball up to Garlick. Garlick lost possession of the ball. It will be Florida ball. Here goes Tate, backtracking a bit, passing it, crossing the field here. Pavlakis crossing midfield, trying to get it into the attacking third for Florida. Pavlakis, will she try to take it herself? No, she gives it up. Goes Stolo. Now over to Schmerler. Some quick passing for the Gators. Passing it inside, lost possession, and I believe they'll call a stick check there on Utah Valley. That'll give Reese Rinaldi a chance at a penalty shot. Rinaldi fires. Bottoms. Rinaldi finds pay dirt for Florida. And that brings them into double digits. 10-4. Florida lead after that one from Reese Rinaldi. Timeout taken by the Gators after that goal. So the two teams will huddle back up and we'll reconvene after this quick timeout. Back in the fourth, Harrison Fuller broadcasting for South Mountain Sports. So after the Florida goal that made it 10-4 for the Gators, two teams will come back to center field and take the draw. Ball pops into the air. Utah Valley picks it up. And here go the Wolverines. Grizzle being double teamed. Here's Scott for Utah Valley, streaking down the sideline. Stops on a dime, starts back up, lost her defender, has to pass it out. Now Florida gains possession. Here go the Gators, running down the far side of the field. Costolo out now to Wieldens. Ball on the ground, corralled by Peyton Kimball. Utah Valley running up the middle of the field, trying to pass it inside. And Caroline Tate stuck her stick up there and managed to intercept it and give possession back to the Gators. Ball stolen. Here goes Caitlin Sperry for Utah Valley, and it's mishandled. Here's Caroline Tate for the Gators. Now Baselga running up the near side, passes it to Wieldens. Wielden being face guarded. Kind of in line with the goal now. Wieldens, well, she tried to take it herself. Now she passes it out. Now Irwin's got it. Here's Rinaldi. She had one earlier on a penalty shot. Ava Mitchell. Trying to pass it inside. Lost the ball, penalty, and most likely it'll be a penalty shot for Caitlin Irwin. Gators looking to capitalize off this. Here's Florida on the penalty shot. Waiting for official approval. And we'll get rolling. Irwin on one of the outer hash marks. Still waiting. There she goes. Dashing towards the goal. Can't complete the play on the penalty shot. Florida picks it back up, and a penalty issued to Utah Valley, I believe. Passing it inside. Irwin again. Can't get it to go. Peyton Kimball. A stonewall on that possession. Going to pass it up. Ball rolls out of bounds. Utah Valley sprints towards it and gains possession for Florida. They'll call it Florida ball. Here goes Rinaldi. Rinaldi, great stick skills. Evading pressure here. Pump fakes. Still got it. Flips it to her teammate. Irwin. Now over to Baselga. Back to the X position behind the goal. Passing it inside. There goes Ava Mitchell. Florida will now reset. Pass it inside. Lost the ball. Florida picks it back up. Passing it inside. Spin move. No good on the shot. Florida picks it back up, though. It's Baselga. And after that, the referee blows his whistle, we will reset play. Or not, as Kimball ends up with the ball in the net. In her stick, excuse me. Florida now still in the attacking third. Mitchell going to run with it. Now slows down. Pass it behind the net here. Schmerler. Searching. Looking around. Jukes. Nice move. There goes Schmerler. Pump fakes. Foul called. And looks like it'll be a penalty shot for Florida. Schmerler will take it. Here goes Kendall Schmerler, trying to improve on her hat trick that she already has in the first half. Here goes Schmerler. Bullseye! Schmerler gets her fourth of the night. Florida now. That makes it 11-4. Just an incredible offensive performance from the Florida Gators, traveling across the country to the Cactus Classic here in Tempe, Arizona, and putting up a very, very solid performance in their first game of the tournament. Both teams will play tomorrow as well. Florida will be taking on Michigan State on Field B from 10:15 on. And Utah Valley, hoping to recover after a likely loss today, will take on Michigan State and Oregon State, I believe, tomorrow. In addition, Florida will also play Utah. So a stacked schedule for both of these teams, and one team going to come out of it with a bit more of a positive outlook than the other. Florida unable to handle the draw. Utah Valley picks it up, having some trouble corralling it here. Ball goes out of bounds, and it's Florida taking possession. Morrissey. Over now, outside. Naus. Searching. Passes it to Castolo. Castolo trying to run around and bend around her defender. Mitchell trying to do the same thing. Bend around her defender. Shot. Doesn't fall. Peyton Kimball picks it up for Utah Valley. Another save for the goalie. Here goes number 11, Natalie Biggs for the Gators. Passes it out to Naus. Florida just going to reset. Pump fake. Got the defender looking. Shot. Waved off. As the referee blew his whistle as soon as the ball left Naus's stick. Penalty shot here for the Gators. Shot bounces high in the air after being deflected by Peyton Kimball, the goalie for Utah Valley. .40 left in the game. Florida trying to net another one. The foot never comes off the gas pedal for the Gators. Now, searching inside. Florida picks the ball back up after it dropped on the ground. Pass inside, spin move. Saved by Peyton Kimball of Utah Valley. Here goes the Wolverines trying to just find one more goal if they can in the short amount of time they have left in the game. Inbounds play for the Gators. And that will do it. Florida picks up the first win of the Cactus Classic here in Tempe, Arizona. So traveling all the way across the country. It was all worth it after the first game so far. Florida picking up the 11-4 win over Utah Valley. Both teams will play tomorrow, and we will see you then. All further games will be broadcasted on South Mountain Sports. But for now, we'll sign off. Briefly, my name is Harrison Fuller, and before I go, I'd like to thank all the viewers wherever you're watching, whether that is Florida, Utah, or if you're right here in Arizona with us, or if you're in Cutchogue, New York. We thank you for tuning in. Also like to thank Anna Nichols, my camera person, and Chris Ross for giving me this opportunity. We'll see you soon. Thank you for watching on South Mountain Sports.